Oh, look, a little pet. Hey, it's Gilbite here. This video, I'm going to show you how to align a car door. I'll also tell you how to hang it as well. Now, I will tell you right now that I highly suggest you have two people, have a helper when you're hanging it, and be careful. So just FYI, it's been 3 weeks since I did a video on the Chevelle because I strained my back hanging the other side, the other door. One door seems to always be a problem, and I was in a hurry. Got frustrated. I did have a helper, but then I tried to, the bottom hinge just didn't want to lay flat so I could get a bolt in it, and so I ended up just manhandling it. Yeah, I got it on. The next day, my back started tightening up, and I was down for over a week. And yeah, don't watch your back, don't hurt yourself. So to hang the door, what I do, so I do have, they're 1/8 inch pieces of wood in where the door goes. That is just to help guide it and help keep metal to metal contact. If you have paint that you want to save, tape up all the edges of the door and all the edges of like the quarter and the rocker down there, and be careful. Now I use this little seat, took the back off of an old office chair, and I had it setting on it. Hopefully it's about the right height for you when you go to do this, and then you got to get your bolts in. I mean, it is what it is. That's how you hang them. Oh, and I should mention, go ahead and have the ones in the door, put those on before you try to hang the door. So yeah. All right, now to align it. So the other door, the other side went really smooth. So this one's probably going to fight me. And these you may or may not be able to leave in, and I actually got some 3/16 as well, but the 1/8 is really, a cut up painter stick is really what I'm hoping for, and I'm just aligning mine to do the quarter panels. So I'm going to replace both quarter panels, and I need this door aligned. This edge has to be good, so when I put the new quarter panel on, I can align this front with the door. So both this plane as well as this plane, the gap, need to be where I can compare with the door. But anyway, things you're might want to do. The body line on this is very subtle. It's hard to see, so I put tape so I can compare them. Oh, the bags. Yes, I'll show you how to use the bags. And I got this tip from Mark from Foothill Paint Fabrication. He was using these to hold up a door, and I'm like, that is brilliant. Talk about saving your back right there. And I'll show you how to use those. So what I do with the bags is I put them like so. So when the door, hopefully you can see that other one. So when the door closes, they're not actually sticking out here, because that'll push the bottom of the door out. It'll just lift on the bottom of the door. The last thing that might be helpful is a strap, so you can hook it to something, and it can be used to hold the door shut. I got the strap on this, going to the other side, but it is not tight, okay? It's not tight. It's enough to hold the door so it doesn't come open, but you don't want it tight. Otherwise, it'll affect what you're doing in your adjustment. What you cannot change here is that rocker panel. That rocker panel is there. It ain't moving because I'm not replacing it. The quarter panel on most cars, now in my case, I'm replacing it. So those are fixed, that distance. The fender, you can move that around. So everybody starts or has a different process. There are people that'll start with the rocker, try to line it up. Others will start with the back edge on the quarter panel. And others will start getting this plane of the door correct. Everything you change is going to affect everything else. Oh, and I should mention, the striker is out of the door. That is key, absolute key. That striker has to be out of the door. And I'll tell you why here. So on this plane, you want the bottom to line up nicely with the rocker. And this top, back here, we want it to line up with the quarter panel. Now, this is actually really close. The top looks like it could go in just a little bit, but the bottom is just about right. All right, so how would you do that? Well, here's the deal. If you don't have the striker in, to bring the top in, I'm going to loosen these, and I'm going to push this in. Now, you may have seen some videos where they talk about if I push this in, it's going to pull that out. If I push this in, it's going to pull the back top out. Well, that's if you have the striker in, because the striker is going to be a pivot point. If you have the striker out, it's going to move in and out like it should. And when you have everything aligned, then you put the striker in and adjust the striker properly, and your door is good. Okay, so that's going to adjust the door, this plane of the door. Now, we don't have a fender. There is some play this way, so I can't really guarantee that this is going to be in the right place without having the fender to put on. Now, I don't care because I'm doing this just so I can adjust the new quarter panel when I put it on. But be aware, if you are doing your final adjustment with, and you're going to have the quarter panels and everything, you need it to line up with those. You'll want to take and put the quarter panel on, hold it up there to see where it falls. Also, in this plane, we're talking about this way, with the window up, it needs to come in here, into your seal here. So once you think you got it right, roll that window up, make sure that it's going to go in that seal. If it comes out here, your door is too far out on the top. If it wants to go, it hits here, well, then your door's, and it does not go up into the here, your door's too far in. You need to adjust it. So I personally try to do this adjustment first. Then I will go to the height and the angle, like so. Those are controlled by the body bolts. So you'll have those a little loose, very little loose. If you have them too loose, that hinge is going to pull away from the body, and all your adjustments that you're doing, when you're going to set it right and then you're going to screw those in, guess what? Your door is now completely out of adjustment. So it is imperative that you have these just a little bit out, just off of snug, so that they will move a little, but the hinge isn't like so. So then when you bolt it up, does this, and the door is going to go that way and down. If it was this one, and you know, you get the idea here. You actually have to snug up a couple bolts to make sure that it's right. All right, so this door actually was really close just putting it on, So that's not very usual for me, but this one went on super easy. All right, we got to move the top end just a little bit. Just a little bit. So what I'm going to do, top hinge, bottom's where we want it, at least currently. All right, not too much. And this one in here is in enough to hold the hinge to the door, but it's not super tight, so it's not going to keep it from moving. All right, now I want to take it just barely has to go in. Now I will tell you another trick you can use. You take a piece of tape, put it right there, or you can use a Sharpie. Then you can tap on it, and when you see that having moved, you know the top of the door is moved. Now I'm going to try to do it without. And I want to do this up here where the hinge is. Could you see the back of the door here? I hope that's in the camera. Back of the door, when I pushed in here, it went in here. That's because the striker's not there. It's doing what it's supposed to do. All right, I just had it. There it is. All right, so it needs, if it was closed, oh, that's really close actually. That's really close. I think the bottom could go in just, not in. Hold on. That bottom. These doors are terrible, by the way. These, back in the 60s and 70s, these things were never straight. And in fact, when they'd go to put these on the assembly line, a lot of times they would actually, so the door was pushed in a little here, sticking out a little here. What they do is take a 2x4 or something, put it in there, and then push the door closed to force this to come out. They'd twist the door. That's how they did it. So it may be, when you're doing yours, that you may end up needing to twist the door so that this and this end are both in the right position. So down here on the rocker back here, this is perfect. It's a little out here, but it's a little in there. This down here, it's not bad. The thing is, if I push this in, I think it's gonna cause that back part to be in. But then when you look here, it's in on the bottom and real close in the middle. It's always a compromise, and if you want them to fit perfect, you got to either use some filler or some metal work it. So it's just a touch high, and there you can see on the tape, so high. If we lower the door, this gap will close, this gap will possibly open, depending on how we do it. So if I loosen this one, that door is going to pivot here on the top hinge, and the top will go down but not in a whole lot, and the bottom will come down and move more this way. Hopefully that makes sense. If I loosen the top one, it's going to pivot on this one. So it'll move in more as it goes down up top, and it'll move away less on the bottom. So which one do I need? That's pretty loose. That's actually pretty loose. Super tight. Oh, super tight. But wait, there's another one. Down here, don't forget the rocker. Now, I will tell you, most people won't even notice the bottom rocker there when they're up at the car. The only time they're going to notice that is when they're a distance away. That doesn't mean you want to try it, you don't want to align it. So what I would want to do on this is I'd want to pivot it on the top, and I'd really prefer to raise the front. Oh, the other thing you got to be aware of, there's always something. The rocker here, this is where the fender butts up against here. So it's going to be right in here and come up. So don't forget this gap. That, in fact, there's a lot of people will start with that gap. They'll get this one how they want it based on this gap, and then they'll do all their movements from the top. However, I'm not sure about that gap. So I honestly think it needs to, that front may need to come up as a whole, and to give us a little more gap here, and then pivot off the top, give us a little more gap here, bring that in just a little, and lower that door, which will lower that one. It ain't easy. Sometimes they just fall in place, like the other side. The other door just fell in place. Of course, I wasn't recording. Now I'm recording, and this one is going to take some work. So I have inflated the bag that's in the front here. I will tell you, it still was going to want to raise the back, because that bag is like right here. That's just how it works with the door underneath. So it's actually right here. And I gave it some, I pumped it up a little, and the back came up just a touch. So this should be held with that bag right now. The other one is not inflated. Theoretically, I can actually, hold on. Let me put just a little bit in the back. Okay. Now, that door is actually being lifted by the bags. Theoretically, I'm going to loosen this up, and it should not move too much. And the latch is just holding it so it doesn't come open. When you loosen these, don't loosen them too much. Try to creak. All right, now I want this front to lift. All right, I think it may have came up a little bit. Remember the bad back. I'm gonna risk something here. Just a little more. I think that's as high as that thing's gonna go. Now I will tell you, these can also lift the door. I have a feeling, I knew this one would not be an easy one. In fact, I can already tell you because I marked it. These hinges are all the way up. They're not going to go higher. Now I did go up just a little bit. If this isn't enough, you're going to then have to move, you're going to have to do it at the door. But you may have to, and I may have to. So what I'm going to do, ow, that pinched against the door. You see, that's why you want to tape them up. I'm going to lower this back. All right, let's move a little bit. And when you tighten them, it's going to affect it, so you got to recheck. I have a feeling I'm going to have to adjust the door bolts. So here's where we're at. That's still loose. That's really tight. In fact, that's pinching it. The height is on the top just a fraction, just a tiny, tiny bit high. The tape, I don't think this tape is in quite the right spot actually. I think it's a touch low, but still a reference. Then we come down here and we run this gap over. It's low. I can't, this gap down here is based upon this. I can't add a bunch of material up here. I could down here. This needs to go down just a touch. That'll bring that down just a touch. We got like this 3/16. It's still loose. These things just keep wanting to hit the floor. And this is a tight 3/16. Maybe it's not quite as bad as I thought it was. I don't know, that side looks higher. Now let me drop it just a little bit right here on the bottom body panels, body bolts. All right. Oh wow, that dropped. May have dropped more than I wanted. Let's see what happens. Oh! Okay. We may have it. We may have it. Oh, don't. Okay, that was a tight one. You won't know until you have everything tight. There we go. Now there's those inside bolts here that I haven't tightened yet. Those could cause the whole thing to restart. But right here is pretty good on the rocker. Hard to say without the fender. But I come over here and that is good. We already established that this sticks up just a tiny bit. Door height looks to be really close. Now it's still a little tight there. I'm kind of disappointed with that, but and then the bottom, That's still pretty loose. Come over here, and you can actually check in several places. And that's tight. I'm not 100% happy with the rocker panel. It looks like the back is higher than the front. Now that can be based on the angle here. If the door is pushed in more, it's going to look like it's got a bigger gap. But if you look down here, I think looks a little better, but yeah, I think it's still high on that right side. But I think I could lower that just a little more. Yeah. Okay, I'll lower it, but I'm not gonna. It's the same process I just did, so I'm not gonna waste your time with that. This is how you line a door. Yep, it's a pain. It takes time. Plan on, if you're lucky, an hour for a door. That's if you're lucky, and it could take a lot longer than that. So, and again, we don't know about the fender yet. So if you had a fender, you'd put it on there and check the gaps there and make sure that the fender will move to the right spot. But I don't care about that, because I'm caring about this side of it. I'm going to lower that just a tiny bit. Make sure when I put this the new quarter panel on, this is going to be my guide to how it sets in here and how high it is. It's all going to be based upon that door. Okay, you do the next change. And there we are. Loosened the bottom one up. All but one bolt of the top one. The pivot bolt. Then I pushed down on this so that it was actually too low. Tighten the bottom. It came up perfect. Tighten the top. And there we are. This is as good as this is going to get, for me at least. 1/8 is a little loose there. It's actually a little loose there. It's supposed to be too tight. And a little loose there. That's how they always are on these A bodies. And the bottom now, there's the rocker. It's still not great. Still high on the back. But the front is as high as it'll go. So, and the back is where it needs to be. So with you have two options to fix that. Rocker panel, nope, I'm not replacing it, and I think it'd be where it was anyway unless I lowered the front. Or you can add just a little bit of metal on the bottom of the door so that it lines up. If you want to do that, that's a good bit of work, but that's the way it is. And as far as this goes, this is really nice. And to get those perfect, again, it's going to take some metal work, at least on a high quality car like I'm building. Trying to avoid the filler. That's a few days later. Well, and this just was bothering me. Just bothering me. I came in here and it just looked high. The door looked high. And I'm like, but it's not. But yeah, actually there's a little issue. I don't know if you can see it. I should have seen it, and I didn't. This is why you use a straight edge. Wait, why does it go down there? There it's flat. There it goes down. So now it's high. And you know what? When I say high, from here to here it's level, but if I bring it there, it's up. Okay, so here's the deal. And I should have caught this. I don't know why I just didn't. I just completely missed it. This goes down right here. So that's level, yeah, sure, but it's down. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but it goes down here. So what I'm gonna do is try to knock this back up, get that level, so I can then level the door, align the door again. Alright, so I don't want to just take this and hit it. Of course it doesn't fit anyway. I'd hit the edge. So I got this piece of wood that I think will work. And I want this edge out or up. Hey, we made some progress. Just a little more. Check your progress. That'll help you so you don't accidentally mess up. You'll know sooner. Closer. Still needs a little more right here. Tempted. Okay, that's close. Let me get a flashlight, or at least a light source. Okay, so yeah, you can't see this. All right, you might be able to see it now. I don't know. Shine the light there. So the very edge is good, right on it. There's a very slight, right here, it's actually a touch down. But I think, yeah, I'm gonna, so right here it's just a touch down. This is level and that's level. And it's actually really close. I mean, just, you know what? This is a better angle. Can you see that angle right there? Can you see there's just a little bit, just a touch more, and we should be good. So if this wasn't here, it would be easier. But I'm not trying for perfection here. I just want to get this to be level with where the current quarter panel and original quarter panel is. Oh. So I can align it again. Okay, that's really, really close. There's still just a touch of a dip right there. But that's back here. So what I'll wait and do that when I do the door, and I have pulled this out, and I can just knock that out then. But the edge is right now, and you're not gonna believe this. It looks a little high. Just a touch high. Let's back up. I think lowering that is gonna possibly fix the rocker. It's gonna at least get it closer, and this will come out just a little bit because my plan is to loosen the bottom one so that the door pivots on the top one, comes down, this closes, this opens, this closes. Theoretically, the front stays where it's at on the rocker. All right, I'm not going to show you that. I've showed you that 100 times. That's what I'm going to do. Put the airbags under the door again, that whole thing. All right. Bottom one is just slightly loose. Bottom two of the top is slightly loose. Drop the airbag, let some air out of it, see what we get. So there is your typical, hopefully I wasn't yelling in the mic, there is your typical Chevelle door right there. It always looks a little proud here because this goes up more than that does on the quarter usually. It's just kind of funny. From my experience, it seems to be the way it goes. Looks a little low. I don't know, let's see. Every time I tighten the bottom ones, it goes up a little. Let's see what happens. Yep, it went up just a touch. Is it perfect? Ooh. Oh. Really? What do you think? What do you think? That's really close. It's really close, really, this time. Oh, man. All right. There you go. Make sure the bag's not still holding it up. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. Yay! I'm gonna have to check the other one just to be sure. But so I'm over here working on the door. I didn't go to the hinges, but I was, looking at the bottom and everything and all over this area. And got a little mouse eater there. Now, in case you think it is fake, see the tongue? See the tongue? It's alive. Look at the tongue. Come on, do the tongue again. It's there, it went. I still think the door is a little high in the back, but it's close enough. It'll work for my needs. And now, so if you were just lining your doors to make them look better, now you could put your striker back in, and your striker will determine where the back of the door sits in relation to the quarter panel. But you don't want it in. When you're aligning the door, it'll just make it harder. And the verse of the video is Matthew 7, verse 21 from the King James. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Wait. Hold on. Did I read that right? Did Jesus actually say that not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord? Have you ever heard someone tell you just say, Lord, Lord, maybe in a prayer, and you'll be saved? Well, according to this verse, read it yourself. Not everyone that does that is going to be saved, but he that doeth the will of my Father. Where do we find the will of the Father? It's in His Word. It's in His Word. You got to read the Bible yourself. Read it yourself. Don't trust what other people are telling you, because they may be wrong innocently, or they may just be trying to get your money. So read it yourself. Open that. This is in Matthew 7. Open it up. Read the New Testament. Starting at Matthew 1:1. You'll get to this verse in no time. And you'll find out what the Bible really says, what God really says that you need to do to be saved. All right. Hope that was helpful. If so, please like, subscribe, comment, or leave a tip on my coffee page. And God bless.